Waiting on a few more people to join us. Just want to remind folks to place any questions you have down in the Q&A section for our panelists. There is a lot of new information that's come out, and Emma will be posting down below a few links that will provide access to up to 30 small business assistance programs that remain active. We know PPP ended last week, but we also have had quite a few resources remain and then also added, and more to come. I just got off a call with Secretary of Economic Development, and we'll hear from Margaret on that recent update. In fact, she's probably still on that call and just jumping over shortly. So got a few more people coming into the call, so we'll start shortly. Hey, Margaret, how are you?
I'm good. My husband's vacuuming.
Oh, okay.
He's done.
All right, that's understandable. We're all trying to multitask these days.
Oh,
I see the mayor's on. Hi, Mayor, how are you?
Hey, Chris.
Good.
I'm
So
on
I
it.
guess we'll get started. Good afternoon. I'm Chris Cooney with the Metro South Chamber of Commerce. It's my pleasure to welcome you here to the 14th month of these COVID resources and recovery calls. We've had a great panel with us all along the way, and could not have done and provided the information that we have without their participation. So I want to thank them. Also want to thank all of you for participating and adding your questions and voices to the concerns and the possible remedies to all of the issues that have plagued us and faced us over the last year. I would encourage you to continue to ask questions. Our panelists are here for you, and they often know that if you have a question, that probably 10 other people have the question, and they can answer them all at the same time. So please post your questions down in the Q&A section. I do want to thank our partners who have helped promote these over the last year and a half almost. Avon Industrial Park Association, the Bridgewater Business Association, the Brockton Area NAACP, the Campello and Montello Business Associations, the Cape Verdean Association, the Easton Chamber of Commerce, East Bridgewater Business Association, the Haitians United, the Massachusetts Small Business Development Center Network, the Norwell, Pembroke, Randolph Chambers of Commerce, as well as the Stoughton Chamber and the South Shore Women's Network. So we want to thank all of them. It's been a really busy week, starting with, seems like it was this week, but it was actually last week. It became one long 14-day week, I think, with the marvelous Marvin Hagler event, which the mayor put together and really did an extraordinary job with. And then from there, you know, Senator Warren's been here, and we've had business sessions and surveys that were announced today on the front page of the paper and all kinds of stuff. So here to tell us more about all of that is the mayor of Brockton, Bob Sullivan. Hi, Mayor.
Hey, Chris, how are you? Good to see you. Good to see Margaret, Eli, the whole team, 14 months. Yeah, listen, let me start with some good news relative to COVID. So we're still in a consistent yellow. It looks like we are more than likely heading towards green, which is a game changer for us. The City Hall opened. It's not appointment only anymore as of last Monday. So it's all hands on deck right now. Soft opening at the Council on Aging, soft opening at the library. We will be honoring the governor on the 15th in terms of honoring his rescission of the executive order. But, we have still lost 434 residents. We're at 14,148 cases and current active cases 57. So we have high school graduation tonight. I attended the high school graduation of New Heights Charter School last night. Tomorrow at Brockton High, we have graduation. Last week I was at Spelman. So we're getting back to the new normal, which is great. But what you just said is 100% accurate, Chris. I have come forward with an initiative called Open for Business here in the City of Champions. As Chris and I have talked many, many times, we have to be more collaboration, more working together with a shared vision for being pro-business, which I am. So we have created surveys. I want to thank Adelsa Mendez, who was recently hired at, the Business Assistance Coordinator at the BRA. The BRA is working with us to do surveys for businesses in Brockton. What can we do better? What are the good? What are the bad? What are the barriers? We want to know everything. And I'm also mandated that every department head in the city of Brockton report back to me by a week from today, which is next Friday, the 11th, to report back relative to a survey that I've given to them internally as well. So the whole purpose right now is in the next couple of weeks, we'll be doing listening tours, meeting with businesses so that we can get, ways to implement new technologies here at City Hall, new practices and procedures that are going to be helping businesses. We have wonderful businesses here right now, but we want more businesses, right? That's what we want. That's the whole basis. So I want to thank the Chamber for being a wonderful partner of the BRA and the Commonwealth, right? So one of the things is we were fortunate enough to get the information technology grant, and we're utilizing that right now for new permitting technologies and software, right? We want to make it streamlined, make it friendly. So it's an initiative that I'm really proud of, and I really think the buy-in is there. I'm hearing for a lot of business. I just met with a business owner 2 minutes ago. So we need to continue to do that. Show the good things to Brockton. Marvin Hagler Day was one of the best days, and I'm 51 and I've been here forever. It was one of the best days I've ever experienced in the City of Champs. The fact that Elizabeth Warren was here taking a tour with Neighborhood Health Center and myself the other day, and the delegation is a key thing as well. So keeping the relationship, keeping the communication, understanding that COVID is not 100% eradicated. It's still here, so we have to be safe. But Chris, I'm excited, and let's get at it. That's all I'm going to say. Let's get things done, and let's just achieve wonderful things here in the city of Brockton and in the neighboring communities as well.
So, Mayor, that statement that you made this morning and the initiative you announced today is the strongest statement, pro-business statement I've seen in the 24 years I've been at the Chamber here in the city of Brockton. It's comprehensive approach where you've asked your department heads to contribute to the conversation. You've asked the business community what their experiences have been and what we can do to improve. And it's just an extraordinary statement to make and a message to send that we are, and you are, leading the way in trying to better understand how we can make a stronger community by attracting and strengthening our business base. And that just is extraordinary, Mayor. I want you to know that. You're the, I think, 6th mayor that I've worked with, and I have not heard this type of approach and this strong leadership in terms of a comprehensive, you use the term game changer to put Brockton on the map for not only the businesses that are here, but businesses that may want to come and see all the development that's happening. So kudos to you, and we're delighted to be working with you and to see the dialogue, the rich dialogue that we've had and how it's evolved. So we look forward to working with you on that and moving us all forward. So thank you.
Yeah, no, thanks, Chris. I mean, it's about working together. It really is. We don't always have to agree. We have to be respectful, but we do have an agreement. I'll give you an example. I took a tour of a marijuana place, Botera, this morning. I was not pro-marijuana, but it's here and it's a business. And as the mayor and as a Brocktonian, I support business. So took a tour. I'm going to take a tour of all of them that are here in Brockton as well. And, just say, hey, listen, this is who I am. Here's my card. If you need me, call me. In terms of doing a deep dive here internally, I did every department head. So it's police and fire all the way to weights and measures. I want everybody's input, and we'll dissect it and figure out best practices. So you'll be really a linchpin on this as well, Chris, with your experience over the years. And, we're going to go to Margaret and Eli and everybody, right? Because we're all in this. What's good for the city of Brockton is good, not just for the county, but good for the Commonwealth. So let's really have frank conversations. The biggest thing is to get responses to the survey. So I'm making a plea right now. If you're on here and you're a business owner, please take the 15, 20, 30 minutes, whatever it takes. be honest. You're not going to hurt my feelings. I want to hear the good and the bad. So again, that's my my mantra and my pledge. So thank you, Chris. I appreciate it. And again, kudos to everybody that is on this every other week. This is great. Thank you.
Terrific. Thank you, Mayor. If we could somehow get the link put on down below, that would be great for people to see that and be able to access it. So I'm not sure who would be able to do that, but if you can email it to us, maybe we can get it on.
Yep, we'll do that, Chris. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. And so I know Margaret and I were just on a call with Secretary Keneally, as well as the Director for Mass Office Travel and Tourism, Kiko Orel, who was a local state rep from this region, south of Boston, and as well as another 100 people who were on that call. Margaret, how are you? And what can you tell us? What's new? There's going to be a press conference this afternoon, from what I understand.
Yes. So Chris, well, thank you. And I think just to echo Mayor Sullivan's sentiments, when Sue and I started the Mass Office of Business Development, we were under direction of Governor Baker and Lieutenant Governor Polito to really set up base camp in Brockton and make sure that we are accessible. And so while the mayor is looking at this Open for Brock Business initiative, we just want to make sure that that any business in Brockton or looking to go to Brockton that's looking to leverage state resources and incentives, we welcome the opportunity to work with them. We often get referrals from both you, Chris, from the mayor's office, from the planning department. So call us. We want to be a part of helping support business growth in Brockton. So there's a lot of programs out there, and being a gateway city, there's a lot of priority to those programs that can benefit this community. So that's one. The other piece we wanted to talk about was the Love My Local campaign that Kiko had touched upon. That's lovemylocalma.com. And so messaging about, now that restrictions are all lifted here in the Commonwealth, that the businesses open across the Commonwealth, and to encourage you to support local businesses and in your backyard. So check that out, lovemylocalma.com. And the other update I had was on unemployment. This has been a kind of frequent question that we've been hearing about, is companies really struggling with hiring because of that $300 federal benefit. So we've talked about this, frequently on our call, but it was talked about on Secretary Keneally's call about the state turning on the work search requirement for unemployment insurance effective June 15th. So, typically a UI claimant would need to report what they've done as far as their work search criteria, and that was waived during COVID. And so regardless of what the effort was put in, now we're hearing, geez, people are saying they're looking at jobs and no one's showing up. We really need to make that happen. So if a company, if an employee is claiming UI and is not checking that they certified on that work search, they're not going to be receiving benefits that will be effective June 15th. However, how to leverage that, let's ease you back in. And we talk often about the work share and the opportunity. If you're even collecting 1 hour's worth of pay from unemployment, you can still leverage that $300 benefit. So how we can, it's called the earnings disregard, so that you can make some money on unemployment, get that $300 federal benefit, but be part of the workforce. So that's making some progress for us. And that's all I have for you today.
That's great, Margaret. I know there was a discussion about the Let's Go Out initiative.
Oh, yeah.
If you want to talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, and that's the same. It's kind of like marketing. And so the Mass Office of Travel has various marketing campaigns that they've put dollars around.
Oh, okay. Is that me or is that her?
Oh, is that me?
Yeah, you're frozen.
So we're having a Let's Go Out, and let's go out to Brockton. Let's go to Camp Rocks. Let's go to the Fullercraft Museum. Let's encourage people to travel to locales in our own backyard.
Excellent. Thanks so much.
My internet's unstable. So my apologies.
That's all right. There was some talk about hiring of veterans coming into this rehiring process. And there is a program, isn't there, at the state level to rehire veterans?
Yeah, it's actually a federal tax credit program. I believe it's about $3,000. So it's the work opportunity tax credit, and I can put a link in the chat here. And what it is when you're doing your hiring, this is another great program, because not only is it veterans, it's just those with barriers to employment. There's certain target groups. One is veterans, but another is long-term claimants. So if you're someone coming off unemployment who's hired at a company, that company can get a tax credit. So this is just a link. It's kind of an HR form. As you're onboarding, have your new hire fill this paperwork out, and then if you successfully end up hiring them, you're able to take this tax credit. So it's this pretty simple process. It's just one of these forms you want to make sure that you're including. And if they're on like this, have SNAP benefits, veterans, disabled, long-term unemployment, there's a series of targeted groups that's applicable here. So I'll put that in the chat, Chris. That's a great resource we talk about.
Thank you very much. And there was one other question that came up about, Larry was on from the Massachusetts Growth Capital Corporation. He talked about a new initiative coming up in the next couple of weeks. Is that something you know anything about? Or?
Yeah, but they haven't released the details on. So how about when that's the Navigator, when yes. when that comes out, I will make sure to have that information soon. I will present that here, but I don't have those details
okay.
ready.
All right, so maybe on the 18th, that's our next call, and that maybe we'll have more information, because he said 2 weeks, so that's great.
Yep, we've been that's been coming soon. So.
Right. Thanks so much, Margaret, for all your help. Appreciate it. And now we're going to move on to Eli Spayu from the Small Business Administration. We know PPP concluded, but we know there's another 30 programs out there still live and active to help small businesses. You're not going to probably be able to go through all of them, but I know Emma's going to put the link down below. There's 30 different resources that help small businesses still active despite PPP closing out. So how are you, Eli, and what can you update us on?
Well, Chris, good afternoon to you, and thanks again for your leadership and for putting this events together, for your members and the community at large. It really has been, the quietest week I remember since the PPP closed, and I'll be honest with you. We felt that when the general lenders had no more funding to lend out, that was going to be the quiet week for us. But it seemed like we had just as many borrowers who had been left out, and we're all looking for a home right after the general lenders started accepting applications. So we were fortunate here in Massachusetts. We had a handful of CFIs, community financial institutions, the minority depository institutions, the CDFIs. They really did a great job. Even those who were doing a handful of PPP loans prior, they picked up the pace, and we found a home for most loan requests, believe it or not. So a really, really busy couple of weeks when the CFIs were the only, options available to small businesses. But I have to tell you, and I've said this many times before, in my opinion, the PPP loan program has been by far, the best, or the most successful, I should say, public-private partnership we've had with our lenders. And the numbers speak for themselves. I know that we like to talk about numbers. We like to share data with you guys, and I'm not going to go over all those specifics, but when you look at the overall activity on the PPP, close to $800 billion nationwide, right, between 2020 and 2021 combined. It just doesn't get any bigger than that of a program. And as you said, this is the 14th month we've been on. This is truly how long this program has been around, and that's a large amount of money, truly, to be put on back into the economy, back into the balance sheets of the small businesses, and to keep people employed. It really has been, I think, it has been a program that has kept the economy, chugging along this whole time, and definitely has helped us on our way to recovery after this pandemic. So from what the mayor says, from what everyone, has been talking about, we kind of see the light at the end of the tunnel, so things are looking a lot better. We see, folks, as they hit the roads, right, they see more traffic. And, I went to the office just recently, and in the past few months, I was accustomed to making it, from Central Mass to Boston in about 40 minutes. And it took me again an hour and a half. So I'm not going to complain about it. That's probably the first time I'm not going to complain about traffic going into Boston and out of the city. But, things are definitely looking, a lot better. As far as the programs available, again, we do have a good number of, programs, as you mentioned, the EIDL, the Economic Injury Disaster Loan, still going strong. We are accepting applications for those folks who did not receive an EIDL loan. And excuse me, and as I've mentioned before, for folks who can request an increase or who need an increase on their existing EIDL loan, by far the best option. As far as underwriting, yes, it's taken time. We understand that, it's not the easiest program to navigate, especially given, the high demand for funds, right? But borrowers, who have no other alternatives when it comes to working capital funds, that change that was made by the agency where folks can now apply for an increase of up to 24 months of working capital needs under the EIDL. Definitely, we have seen quite a bit of activity on that. Quite a bit of a good number of inquiries here at the district office level, because of some of the delays. One thing I do want to share with folks, and I know we've got a few lenders as well on the call, the 4506T, which is the tax request transcript, that's an IRS form. On the EIDL program, that has been the biggest bottleneck, because obviously with a large number of requests that we have sent, the IRS has been a bit behind on processing those requests and the agency receiving those tax transcripts for many borrowers on the EIDL side. So whether we're talking the economic injury disaster loan, whether we're talking about the targeted advance, whether we're talking about the supplemental targeted advance, they're all, some of the holdups are for the most part related to the 4506T, delay on the part of the IRS. And again, it's a sister agency, not trying to point fingers and shift the blame, right? We all work together, but folks do also understand that we have submitted a large number of tax transcript requests over to the IRS. We've got the SVOG program, which actually is going fairly well. The RRF that we've talked about. So that program as well did close, right? So new applications, it closed to new applications, right? And folks cannot apply for an RRF, but we are seeing a good number of approvals. About 2,300 small businesses here in the state have gotten an approval already. We're talking $660 million in Massachusetts, which is a fairly good number, and that data is as of the 29th of May. So obviously, the RRF program, it was, we were oversubscribed. I mentioned on the last call that we had received about 2.5 times. The amount of applications we received was about 2.5 times the appropriations we got under the American Rescue Plan Act. So we are hopeful, through our partners as well, and various organizations that are lobbying Congress for additional funding. We know that there's going to be a number of folks that are not going to receive funding under this current appropriation. As mentioned, definitely we're oversubscribed. But other than that, we do have the Community Navigators program that I won't spend too much time on it, because it really is, geared towards nonprofits for the most part, who can provide technical assistance to small businesses to start and grow. I'll have more details on that, for another program, but I don't know how much time we've got again, and I'll take any questions that folks in the audience may have today, or yourself.
Okay, great. Thank you, Eli. I appreciate that. So please put your questions down below, and we also are including links. Emma's putting the links in there, and Lexi's making sure things flow along here. So, there were questions on the EIDL in terms of the rate. What is the rate that's being charged, and the term for most borrowers?
Yes, so on the EIDL program, again, for for-profit businesses, that's a fixed rate of 3.75% for a 30-year maturity.
Wow.
Right. So nonprofits do get a discounted rate, so they get a 1% discount. So the rate for a nonprofit would be 2.75%, same term of 30 years. Now, there is a deferment period. We've talked about that. So with all EIDL loans, whether to a for-profit or a nonprofit, depending on when the loan was funded, again, so loans funded in 2020 will receive a 24-month deferment. So that was an increase from a 12-month deferment to 24 months.
Okay.
And loans that were funded in 2021 only receive an 18-month deferment.
Okay.
But that still provides, relief to small businesses, not having to worry about making, payments right away, no direct impact to the cash flow of a recipient of an EIDL loan. And one thing that I keep always mentioning, though, is that interest does accrue. So a reminder to folks on the call today, if they have the ability to make payments, highly advisable that they do so, even during the deferment period, right, if they can afford it, because obviously, interest does accrue, and no one wants to pay interest on top of interest, right?
Right.
So, that great expression from Albert Einstein, he said the eighth wonder of the world, right? Compound interest.
Yeah, that's true. So it's a great value, though, for some folks that get closed out of the PPP and are still looking for some relief. And so please, folks, take a look at the EIDL financing options as well for your business. And again, Eli, thanks so much for your help. I know you've been very helpful to many of our members here in the region, as well as the chamber. We applied for a lot of these resources, the EIDL, we've applied for the PPP, we applied for the ERC, which is the Employee Retention Credit, and we've actually received all three. So as an organization, we're in much better shape than we would have been otherwise, and I think that speaks to your assistance. I also understand that Massachusetts is only second to the District of Columbia for total dollars value of PPP assistance, which is really extraordinary. So the number one state in the country for accessing these funds, which is really great for our businesses and for our economy.
It's very, very true, Chris. And really, as a percentage of the total dollars, lent in the nation, each one of the programs, I mean, it has been great to see those numbers and to see how, Massachusetts leads the way. I will mention real quick for folks on the line today that forgiveness of this PPP loans continues to we're continuously making progress there. For the most part, this forgiveness applications are getting turned around in less than a month's time. Okay, but there are a handful of loans at each respective institution that are taking longer than 90 days. And we know a few that are taking a lot longer than the 90 days, but it's work in progress. For the most part, we have forgiven 3.3 million of the 5.2 million approvals from 2020. And the new associate administrator of the SBA does have an objective in mind to be done and over with all PPP loan forgiveness applications from 2020 by Labor Day. So we've got 1.7 million applications outstanding, and that is the objective. And it's an aggressive, goal. But again, I want to encourage everyone, to If they have not applied for forgiveness on their loans from 2020, definitely would want to think about it. Some of these loans that were funded in April and May of 2020 will, deferment period will end around July, right, of this year. So if you don't apply for forgiveness within that 10-month window after the end of the covered period, then folks would need to start making payments. So, just a reminder, and I want to highly encourage folks to put in their forgiveness request with a lender, at their earliest. And
Thank
again,
you.
most of these loans, these loans are getting forgiven 100%. So all you got to do is work with your lenders, provide documentation with regards to the way the funds were spent, and we'll get it taken care of within 30 days or less.
Yeah, it's great to see that goal, and it gets everybody focused on getting the 2020 PPP grants forgiven and processed. So that's wonderful. Well, thank you very much. Appreciate it. We'll probably finish up early today, but before we do, I wanted to mention that Sheila Sullivan Jardam reached out to me this morning and said that there's a free training program for manufacturers in Massachusetts. It's a virtual training program, and it's happening in the month of June. And there is, I think Emma's going to put the access point down below. I also noticed that I think Jason is on from Mass Hire, who could, Jason Hunter, maybe help with that as well. So maybe we can post his contact information down below. So I wanted to mention that. And then also Prava, which Prava is a word that means proven, that the community, it's proof that the community is coming back and is a desirable place to meet and gather and celebrate. And so Prava's program has been going on for the last 4 summers. This will be the 4th summer. And it's an area set up usually on vacant lots in the city, highlighting the music, the culture, the food, and the beer of the city and the region. So that is back this year, and we'll be sharing more information with you as that becomes available. So we're happy about that. And then we're really delighted to have Matt Dyer with us today. Matt is with the state DCR. There he is in full uniform and out on the streets of Brockton, helping us plant trees. This is a free tree program. Again, Brockton has had this program in place for a few years, and the city has offered the chamber trees. We've had, I think, 5 or 6 trees planted in the last couple of years, and your business might be able to be eligible as well. Hi, Matt. How are you? Can you tell us a little bit about the program and how it's going?
Sure. Great. And thank you very much for having me today. I really appreciate the opportunity to chat with the chamber and the members about the free tree program. So a little bit about the program. We are in actual 14 other gateway cities. So if you have friends or families that may live in 14 of the gateway cities, go over to maurbancanopy.com. And it has all the information and all the areas where you may qualify for a free tree. But specifically here in the city of Brockton, we've been here for about 4 years. Our goal is to plant about 2,400 trees. And right now we're about 2,340 trees in the ground. So we're approaching our goal, but that doesn't mean that we're going to be leaving the city anytime soon. So the program is great. It's all about energy efficiency. So the whole idea is by planting a free tree on your property, it's going to create shade, just like how you and I stand in the shade to stay cool during the summer months. Hopefully it will keep your house cool during the summer months, so you're not using your AC as much. And then in the wintertime, when the leaves drop, it will allow the sun to pass through, warming your house, but also act as a wind barrier. So those harsh winter winds don't blow out all that hot air inside your house. So the program is great. The trees are free. The labor is free. Everything is free. You get to pick the tree. We have over 50 different kinds of species of trees that you can pick from. And as I said, everything is free. So you get to pick the spot where you want the trees to go. You get to pick out the tree. My job as a forester is to make sure it's the right tree for the right place. So as we're sitting here talking about business, I also want to refer everyone to a couple of different studies out there where they studied economic areas that had trees versus areas that didn't have trees. And they saw that the communities that had trees had anywhere from 13 to 20% more business, and that they could charge 13 to 20% more per product. So trees are good for any community, but especially the business community. We can help save you some money on your energy costs, but also hopefully help drive more people in by the aesthetics of trees and making a sense of place with them. So again, the website, I think it just was thrown in the chat there, maurbancanopy.com or .org. Either one will get you to the right place. And my phone number here, if you're in the city of Brockton and you're wondering if you qualify or not, my phone number is 781-540-4305. And right at the moment, we are about 800 acres in the city. Our most northern point is City Hall and School Street. Our most southern point is the MBTA, not the MBTA, but the BAT maintenance station. And our eastern line is the MBTA commuter line. And our western borders, Copeland, Donalds, and Manamet. So if you live in that area or might be in that area, feel free to give me a call, and I'll be more than happy to talk more about trees.
Thank you, Matt. Appreciate that. It really is an extraordinary program. At the chamber, we had honey locust put in, and you guys came out with a watering truck every morning and made sure they made it. And then you came back the next year and gave us another variety. I forget what kind that was.
The sweet gums.
What is it?
Sweet gums, silhouette, slender silhouettes. Yep.
Okay, so we have two different varieties of trees planted a year apart, and they were free. I actually got a postcard at my house and offered a tree there, and had a Japanese lilac put in there. So that was a delight to get that put in. And it's really such an efficient operation that you're running there, and you've had a number of years that you've been able to really kind of solidify the presence and get those numbers right up to your goal. So congratulations on that.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for being with us. And so I think that's it, folks. I'm going to look down the Q&A. I know there was not any right there in the chat. Maybe there is quite a bit of information in the chat area. If you are interested in finding some of the links that were discussed. And if not, I want to wrap it up and let you know that we'll be returning in 2 weeks on the 18th for our annual Athena Award recipient program. And this year it's Sheila Sullivan Jardim, who has influenced many, many young people's lives in her role as executive director of Mass Higher Brockton office that services Brockton and the surrounding areas. Her office has been responsible for placing thousands of young people in jobs, as well as assisting many, many people in job searches and career counseling, workshops, advice, and all of that. And she's a great recipient this year. I hope you'll join us and spread the word and join us. We have a great speaker who's just written a book. Her name is Molly McPherson, and she's going to talk about that book and dealing with social media and how to deal with crisis in a time, social media in a time of crisis. So she's a great speaker, great author, and we'll be giving away a bunch of her books at that time. And that's on the 18th. And that one's going to be at noon. We pushed it up to noon because it's usually a luncheon. We were hoping to be in person, but we were not able to skate under the contract and agreements. We had already signed her on as a speaker for a virtual event. So we're honoring that. We have been in person. We did a ribbon cutting, a couple of ribbon cuttings last month and this month. We have just booked a business after hours with in Easton with Doug King at his Water Point property, and that will be outdoors under a tent, and it'll be a cookout, traditional summer cookout. So we hope you'll join us for that. It's free. Just let us know you're coming so we can make sure we have enough food for everyone. Again, want to thank you all for being with us. We will continue these through the 18th, and then we'll probably take a break for July and then see where things go. I want to again thank you for being with us, and I wish you a very wonderful weekend, and I hope to see you at a chamber program in person before too long. Thank you very much. Have a good day.